Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new PTCO video, and today guys, we're going to be taking a look at a top 5 video. It's going to be the top 5 best decks in the Pokemon trading card game of 2016. This list is going to be comprised basically of a sum up of all the best decks of 2016. I'm going to be showing you guys some deck lists that I got, mainly off the Pokemon.com. When you go to like the national results and stuff like that, you can see all the deck lists and copy them. I'm going to be doing that. But anyways, this is going to be the top 5 best decks of 2016, in my opinion. And, I mean, this list may be controversial. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? But I'm going to be mixing in some things. You know, the new standard we got now, Primal Clash on, and then obviously the older standard where it was XY on. It's going to be a little mix-up of those two. And I hope you guys enjoy. But can I just say, 2016 was an awful year. Holy cow. Like, so many people died. Like, are you kidding me? Like, geez, we can't even end off the year without, you know, killing off someone big. Like, the death of Carrie Fisher is huge. I mean, that Star Wars fans, I feel you. I mean, that's just such a sad death. I just saw Rogue One, and, you know, I'm pretty upset, you know, just, it's a sad moment for everyone, you know, so many people died this year, so many legends, like Muhammad Ali, Prince, you know, David Bowie, like, geez, just, it's such a dark year, honestly is, but without that aside, we can get into the top 5 best decks of 2016, and let's take a look at what I've made for my list. Alright guys, coming in at the number 5 spot, I've decided to go with Yveltal Garbodor from our standard format right now. And this is going to be the only new standard format deck that's going to be on this list. Technically, okay, maybe not the only one. I think there's another spot on this list that technically is from, you know, both our new standard right now and also, you know, the old XY on standard. But Yveltal Garbodor right now is destroying. This deck is literally everywhere on basically PTCGO and just in real life. Like, you look up the best decks on the Pokemon website for, like, standard, you're just seeing Yveltal Garbodor just win, like, every single division. It's like, you got the top 8 decks, like, all, like, at least 5 or 6 of them, it's just Yveltal Garbodor. This deck is destroying the game right now, and, I mean, it's making its impact. You know, people are using Zipstrike and stuff. I made a lot of Zipstrike decks recently, because it's just so much Yveltal Garbodor on PTCGO, and just in real life. Like, again, you can't go without looking at all these top 8 decks without seeing, like, 50 Yveltal Garbodor decks, and it may be a bit of a late year kind of a deck, but I still think it deserves the number 5 spot, just because of how big it is right now in the standard format. I don't think we've seen a deck right now in our Primal Clash on standard format that, like, has been doing this well. Like, you can't, like, before in Primal Clash on, you look at these top 8 decks, you wouldn't see, like, 6 of the same deck. Now we're seeing, like, 6 of the same deck in every division with this Yveltal Garbodor variant. It's destroying everything right now. It's without a doubt the top deck in standard. And, you know, I think it has to come at number 5 just because it's such a big deck. It's only low on the list because it's kind of a late year sort of a deck. But I still think it deserves the number 5 spot. Anyways, moving into the number 4 spot. Alright, here we go, guys, with the number 4 spot. This is going to be Vespiquen, or more importantly, more of a Vespiquen variant, I guess, kind of thing. Just Vespiquen in general. Now, this is the list I got with This is Ross Cawthorn's list that I got off the World Championships of 2016. I got this deck list from that. This is Ross Cawthorn's list. This isn't the Vespiquen list, maybe. I mean, there's so many more. You got Vespiquen Vileplume, which would have been a great contender. You got Vespiquen Night March, which would have been a great contender. And Vespiquen just had a great year in 2016. It's such a powerful card. Even now in Standard, it's still seen some play. You know, you got the Vespiquens of Strike decks, you know, popping up. Vespiquen dominated 2016 along with a lot of other decks, but this deck is just very, very good. You got all these variants. You got the Vespiquen Vileplume, Vespiquen Night March, and then also you got this like Vespiquen Yveltal list that I got from Ross Cawthorn from the you know, the top 5 deck list things, and it's a very, very good deck. Vespiquen continued to be a very good grass type deck, probably the top grass type deck in 2016 without a doubt. It just dominated, and there's so many different Vespiquen variants that did very good. I think Vespiquen Vileplume may have been the best one of them all. I couldn't find a good list for Vespiquen Vileplume, but I got the Ross Cawthorn list from the World 2016, so I went with this one for the kind of showcasing. But just in general, I think Vespiquen definitely deserves the number 4 spot. So I'm going to be putting here at Vespiquen at the number 4 spot. Anyways, we're going to be moving on to our number 3 spot on this list. Okay guys, here we go, going in at our number 3 spot, I'm going to be putting Trevenant on here, and Trevenant is just very good. Now, this, I got this list off of the Pokemon.com thing of all these, like, top 8 deck lists, but Trevenant Break just was such a powerful, popular deck. And now in Standard, it's not really good anymore, mainly because, you know, you lost the item lock Trevenant, and the Worry Seed, the Energy Press one really isn't that good. I don't know why it's in this list that I got off of this, but you know what, I'm just going to quickly just add another Trevenant then from XY. But Trevenant Break was one of the popular decks. It's a great deck because it's got the item lock ability, Forest Curse. You got the Trevenant Break with Silent Fear, and a lot of these lists ran like Mewtwo EX and Wobbuffet. And it really did utilize stuff like Bursting Balloon and whatnot. So Trevenant Break definitely was one of the top decks out there. It's one of the most powerful decks, especially when they get that turn 1 item block on you with Wally or just using Ascension. It's just such a crazy lock. Trevenant Break is such a powerful card. And, you know, even with Yveltal EX, this deck still manages to do very, very good. Like, I know, like, Yveltal EX is, like, one of those decks that, like, oh, it does really good. But for some reason, Trevenant Break was able to outbeat a lot of Yveltal matchups, which was pretty crazy. So, Trevenant Break definitely, it's one of the top decks in the game. Without a doubt, definitely was able to be one of the biggest decks of 2016. One of those most powerful decks that revolved around Break Pokemon. And, you know, Break Pokemon really, you know, there's not many good ones that really had a shine in 2016. But Trevenant Break is probably one of the only 2 of those Break Pokemon that really made its impact in 2016. So I definitely think that Trevenant Break definitely deserves to be at the number 3 spot as one of the best decks of 2016 that we saw. Anyways, moving on to our number 2 spot. And guys, coming in at our number 2 spot, this is going to be Greninja Break. Greninja Break, it's without a doubt one of the just best decks ever. Like, it is such a good deck. Now, Greninja Break, it's so good. It's just, you know, I think the reason why it's so good, it's like, oh, it's a stage, like, basically 4 deck if you think about it. But because you have this Frogadier that can just get all your other Frogadiers in play, meaning you can just get multiple Greninjas in play in one turn, is just nuts. Greninja Break, just without a doubt, was one of the best decks in 2016. I would maybe put it at the number 1 spot, but I think there's just one deck that kind of thins out that really made even a bigger impact and saw even more play. But Greninja Break, even right now in Standard, it continues to be one of the top decks. And even before that, it continued to be one of the best decks. I'm pretty sure this deck lost out to the Mega Audino deck in the Worlds Finals. So you can just see this deck managed to make it to the top 2 in Worlds, which is just nuts. Greninja Break is one of the strongest and one of the most annoying decks. I hate playing against this deck. It's so annoying to play against. But it really did make its impact in 2016 as being one of the best decks ever. You know, the Breakpoint Greninja Break continues to be good. Greninja Break definitely holds its status as being the greatest Break Pokemon in the game because it's so good with the Frogadiers and the Greninjas and stuff like that. Just Greninja Break is insane. You know, you can use it with Bursting Balloon. Some lists I saw on Pokemon.com were using like Muscle Band. You got the Bursting Balloon ones. It was such a crazy deck. It definitely was able to make its huge impact in 2016 as just being one of the greatest decks of that year. Just definitely, again, and I'm repeating myself, but I'm gonna repeat myself. It was able to hold that throne as being the greatest Break Pokemon in the game. And Greninja Break definitely deserves its number 2 spot. Before we do get into the number 1 spot, I got some honorable mentions to get out of the way. So let's hop into some honorable mentions then quickly. Alright guys, here we go with the first honorable mention. I'm just going to give this one to Mega Audino. I mean, Mega Audino never really saw play before Worlds, and even after Worlds, now in the Standard format. I mean, I've tried testing it out in that Mega Audino Pidgeot video I made, but, you know, Mega Audino, I'm going to put it on mention just because it won Worlds. It's like, every year at Worlds, this, like, crazy deck just wins. I mean, we got the Arceus Blastoise deck, and now we just got this Audino deck that came out of nowhere from Shintaro, and it was just like, boom! Take that, Greninja Break. Take that, all your other decks in Worlds. Trevenant, Night March, you know, Vespiquen, all these decks. Just get out of my way, boy. I'm going to make my impact. Magical Symphony, boom, boom, boom. Audino, definitely going to take an honorable mention spot just for winning Worlds. Then we got Darkrai EX. I'm going to be giving this to, like, Darkrai EX and then also Giratina EX Darkrai decks. But, you know, Darkrai, even before the new Standard format, it still was very good with Giratina and XY on. You know, you got the Darkrai decks with, like, even expanded with, like, Dark Patch and Max Elixir. Darkrai definitely managed to take its place as one of the best Dark-type EXs we've ever had. almost beating out Yveltal in some situations. Just Dark Pulse is such a very good attack. Some people like it more than Evil Ball. I mean, right now, you got Yveltal EX, which is destroying Standard, so it's like even better. But Darkrai EX still manages to take that honorable mention spot for being one of the best decks in 2016. Then we got Volcanion variants. This one mainly reps for our new Standard format right now. Volcanion decks are doing really, really good in Standard right now. And, I mean, even before that, it was, like, okay. I mean, it never really, like, did, like, huge, but right now, in Standard, it's making it as definitely one of the best decks for the Standard format right now. And Volcanion definitely is very good. Gotta put it here in honorable mention. And then we got Vileplume. This mainly goes to like those Vileplume box decks, and then also like Vileplume with Zygarde. You got Vileplume with like dragons, and then also Vileplume. Vespiquen is another very, very good deck. Definitely Vileplume, Vespiquen. I think may have already made the list at number 4. I put that as like Vespiquen decks, but Vileplume definitely deserves honorable mention as being one of the best, kind of decky kind of things out there. Then we got Mega Manectric variants. Mega Manectric, my favorite Mega Evolution. It's sad that it rotated, but Mega Manectric variants continue to be very good. I mean, we saw like Mega Manectric with like Raikou and Jolteon, Mega Manectric, water decks, all those kind of decks. Mega Manectric continued to be a very versatile and splashable deck, and yeah, definitely proved to be one of those best decks of 2016. Then we got Mewtwo Y-Dex. This mainly reps for our new Standard format right now. Not really before that, Mewtwo Y never really was good because he had like Night March to block it, but right now Mewtwo is being very, very good. Mewtwo is up there with like Darkrai and Volcanion as one of the best decks in our Standard format. So I decided to put Mewtwo up here just for being one of the best decks in our Standard. You can't forget the Primal Clash and On format either for this best list. And then we got the Water Toolbox variants. Water Toolbox was really close to making the list. Honestly, if Yveltal Garbodor hadn't come around, I probably would have put Water Toolbox at the number 5 spot. Maybe I should have put it at the number 4 spot instead of Vespiquen variants. But I think Water Toolbox definitely deserves an honorable mention. Really would have made the list. Got cut out by Yveltal Garbodor because I had to put one of those new Standard format lists on here. But Water Toolbox definitely was one of the best decks in 2016, mainly because it was more unique. It didn't really rely so much on, like, Quaking Punch so much. It more relied on Grenade Hammer. They had, like, other stuff like Regice, Glaceon, Articuno, all that good stuff. So Water Toolbox makes an honorable mention. And then the last honorable mention, I'm going to be giving this to Seismitoad variants. You can count Water Toolbox. I'm also going to be counting, Seismitoad Giratina, Seismitoad, Crawdon, Seismitoad with, like, the bats and stuff like that. They continue to be one of the best and most annoying decks in the game. But Seismitoad variants definitely also deserve an honorable mention just because Seismitoad continued to be a very, very good deck in 2016. And those are all the honorable mentions that I got. I don't know if I missed any. Maybe, like, another honorable mention. You can give it to, like, Max Yveltal. I wouldn't really count that. But, like, there's all kinds of honorable mentions. But these are the top ones I think deserves the honorable mention. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get to the number 1 spot. What do you think it's going to be? I guarantee you're going to know, but let's hop into the number 1 spot for the best deck of 2016. What got the crown? Let's find out. And without further ado, guys, the best deck of 2016, in my opinion, what I think was truly the best deck, goes to Night March. Hate it or love it, Night March was just the most dominant deck this year. I mean, right now in Standard, it's not because it rotated out and stuff like that, but before that, Night March was king, I personally think. It may not have won Worlds, whatever, but it still managed to become one of the best decks. So many people use Night March. There's all kinds of, well, there's not all kinds of versions of Night March, but there are the versions of Night March. You got the Night March version here, the straight-up version where you use the Night Marchers. You also got, like, this, like, Baby Mew in the deck, which I got off Pokemon.com. Again, all these lists got off Pokemon.com. But then you also got the Night March Vespiquen deck, which was also one of the best Night March decks out there. I kind of counted that as number 4, but I can also count that as our number 1 spot because Night March is number 1. And I definitely think Night March deserves to take the crown as the best deck in the the best deck in 2016 by far. This deck is king, and as much as people hate it and as annoying as it is, I just have to put it here, It may be hated, it may be one of the most annoying decks ever to play against, but it without a doubt proved to be probably one of the most popular and best decks of 2016. That's why I put it at number 1. I mean, you may disagree and be like, wow, why would you put Night March on here? I hate this deck so much. You may hate it, but there's a reason why you hate it. It's because it's so good and popular, or was popular, I guess. But Night March is just, it destroys. I mean, I think right now it expanded. Night March isn't so popular, but, before that, Night March continued to be king all the way up from, like, winter, January, all the way up to like World Championships. Night March continued to be like the best deck ever. It may not have won the Worlds, but it continued to be popular and annoying and super, super good. Night March, you take that number 1 spot as being the best deck of 2016, in my opinion. You may not agree, but I'm going to make you agree because this is my list. Maybe, my list, but You don't have to agree, but it's my list, like I said. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more PTCGO and Pokemon TCG content in general. This was my top 5 best decks 2016. Comment down below what you guys think was the best deck, or what your top 5 would be. Do you guys agree with the list, or do you not agree with the list? If you don't agree with the list, tell me why. I mean, you don't have to, like, blatantly hate and call me, like, a moron and, like, dislike my video and, like, flag it, copyright strike. I'm just kidding. I can't get copyright strike, but you get my point. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is my list. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on another PTCGO video. Don't forget to subscribe to help me on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys on another video. And here's to a great 2017, sorry, not 2016, but 2017, where hopefully we get some better decks. Hopefully we see some new shining decks when I maybe do my 2017 best list, and hopefully we don't see so many celebrity decks. Like, for God's sakes, 2016, what are you doing? And I'll see you guys on another video. It's been Little Fury, and peace out.